Let me ask you something that might shake you a little. If you woke up tomorrow and only had the things you genuinely thank God for today, what would still be in your life? Your family? Your home? Your health? Or would you wake up with almost nothing? That's not meant to condemn you. It's meant to wake us all up. Because here's the truth. Most of us are living with so much abundance while practicing so little gratitude. We have functioning bodies, but we complain about minor aches. We have food on our tables, but we grumble about the menu. We have people who love us, but we focus on those who don't. I'm Lolo Adam, and welcome to Wisdom Thought. I'm genuinely grateful you're here with me again. This isn't going to be just another feel-good message about saying thank you more often. We're going deeper. We're going to discover how gratitude literally transforms our minds, heals our bodies, changes our words, multiplies our blessings, and deepens our relationship with God. In today's video, we'll unpack 3 powerful proverbs that reveal the life-changing nature of gratitude. Each one will challenge how you think, speak, and act. And I promise you, the number 3 will completely reframe what gratitude actually means. It's not what most people think. Before we dive in, I want to invite you into this community of wisdom seekers. If this message resonates with you, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this content reach people who desperately need it. Share this with someone who's been discouraged lately, someone who needs a shift in perspective. And subscribe to the channel with notifications on because we're building something special here, a place where God's wisdom meets modern life. Now, let's begin this journey. Grab your notebook because you'll want to remember these truths. 1. The feast of perspective. All the days of the oppressed are wretched, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast. Proverbs 15:15. Read that again slowly. All the days of the oppressed are wretched. Not some days, not most days, all days. Why? Because oppression here isn't just about external circumstances, it's about a crushed perspective, a heart weighed down by what's wrong, what's missing, what's broken. But notice the contrast. The cheerful heart has a continual feast. Not an occasional meal, not a once-in-a-while celebration, a continual feast. Every single day feels abundant. Here's what's revolutionary about this verse. 2 people can be living in the exact same circumstances, same financial situation, same challenges, same struggles, and one experiences wretchedness while the other experiences a feast. The difference isn't their situation, it's their heart posture. Let me tell you about 2 men I know. Both lost their jobs during the pandemic. Both had families to support. Both faced uncertain futures. The first man, let's call him Jack, spiraled into depression. Every morning was torture. He'd wake up angry, scroll through social media seeing everyone else's success, and spend his days bitter and paralyzed. His family walked on eggshells around him. His marriage grew tense. Even when he got interviews, his negativity came through, and doors kept closing. His unemployment lasted 14 months, and those were the worst 14 months of his family's life. The second man, Raphael, chose differently. The morning after he lost his job, he sat his family down and said, "We still have each other. We still have our health. We have a roof over our heads. Yes, this is hard, but we're going to look for the gifts hidden in this struggle." Every day, he'd write down 3 things he was grateful for. He used the extra time to strengthen his marriage, teach his kids life skills, and volunteer in his community. When he interviewed, employers felt his positive energy. He found work in 7 months and later told me those were some of the most meaningful months of his life. Same storm, 2 different boats, one sinking, one sailing. This is the secret Proverbs is revealing. Gratitude isn't denial of problems. It's not toxic positivity that ignores pain. It's a powerful lens that finds nourishment even in difficult seasons. Think about a physical feast. There's bread, there's meat, there's fruit, there's wine. A grateful heart finds multiple reasons to give thanks even on hard days. You might have lost income, but you can still give thanks for family. You might be dealing with health issues, but you can still give thanks for the breath in your lungs. You might face rejection, but you can still give thanks for the lesson learned. Ungratefulness does the opposite. It's like sitting at a banquet table piled high with food, but only staring at the one dish that's missing. They have lobster, but there are no crab legs. This meal is ruined. How ridiculous does that sound? Yet that's exactly how we live when we focus only on what we lack. Here's a practical challenge I want you to try this week: the 3 feast portions exercise. Every evening before bed, write down 3 specific things you're grateful for from that day. But here's the key: they must be specific. Not, "I'm grateful for my family," but "I'm grateful that my daughter laughed at my joke at dinner tonight." Not, "I'm grateful for my health," but "I'm grateful my legs carried me up those stairs without pain today." Specification trains your mind to hunt for blessings throughout the day. You'll start noticing gifts you previously overlooked. You'll begin experiencing that continual feast Proverbs promised. The lesson is profound. Your joy is not determined by your circumstances, but by your perspective. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into extraordinary, the little into enough, and the struggle into an opportunity for deeper character. 2. The medicine cabinet of the soul. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Proverbs 17:22. Now we're moving from perspective to power, the actual physical, emotional, and spiritual impact of gratitude. Proverbs isn't speaking metaphorically here. It reveals a medical truth that science is only now beginning to understand. A cheerful heart is good medicine. Let that sink in. Your gratitude has medicinal properties. It heals, it restores, it strengthens, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. In ancient understanding, bones represented the core of your being, your deepest strength and vitality. A crushed spirit doesn't just make you sad. It literally drains your life force, your energy, your will to keep going. Modern research is confirming what Solomon knew 3,000 years ago. Studies show that people who practice regular gratitude have lower blood pressure and stronger immune systems, reduced symptoms of depression and anxiety, better sleep quality and duration, higher pain tolerance and faster recovery from illness, increased energy levels and motivation. This isn't wishful thinking. This is documented medical reality. Gratitude changes your brain chemistry. It increases dopamine and serotonin, the same chemicals that antidepressants target. It reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that damages your body when chronically elevated. Allow me to share a story that illustrates this powerfully. 2 women in my church were diagnosed with breast cancer within weeks of each other. Same type, same stage. Both underwent chemotherapy. I watched their journeys closely because they took radically different approaches. The first woman, I'll call her Alexa, became consumed by fear and bitterness. She constantly asked, "Why me? This isn't fair. I don't deserve this." She isolated herself, stopped attending church, and viewed every symptom as a harbinger of doom. Her treatment was brutal. She struggled with severe side effects, depression, and complications that extended her recovery. The second woman, Linda, chose gratitude as her weapon. She kept a blessings in cancer journal. She gave thanks for early detection, for her medical team, and for her supportive family. She thanked God that she could still taste food even when it was bland. She found reasons to laugh during chemo sessions. She encouraged other patients. Yes, she had hard days. She was honest about the pain, but her default setting was Thanksgiving. Both women survived. Both are cancer-free today, but their experiences were dramatically different. Linda's oncologist even commented on how remarkably well she tolerated treatment and how quickly she bounced back. Now, I'm not suggesting gratitude is a magical cure or that Linda's attitude alone defeated cancer. Modern medicine played a crucial role. But here's what I am saying. Gratitude was indeed good medicine for her. It strengthened her immune system, stabilized her emotions, gave her resilience, and helped her body respond better to treatment. Science has a term for this: psychoneuroimmunology, the study of how your thoughts and emotions directly affect your immune system. Your cheerful, grateful heart literally sends healing signals to your body. But here's what's even more important. Gratitude is preventive medicine. You don't wait until you're sick to start being grateful. You practice gratitude when you're healthy, and it builds resilience for when trials come. Think of gratitude like vitamin C. You take vitamin C regularly to strengthen your immune system so that when a virus attacks, your body is prepared. Gratitude works the same way for your mental and spiritual health. You practice it daily so that when grief, disappointment, or hardship strikes, you have the emotional resilience to endure. Here's a practical exercise, the medicine inventory. This week, make a list of every way your body is working correctly right now. Your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, your eyes are reading these words. Your brain is processing information, your hands are functioning, your legs are carrying you. We only notice these systems when they break down. But right now, thousands of processes are working perfectly in your body. Give thanks for each one. That's not small, that's miraculous. And when you do face illness or pain, practice what I call gratitude alongside grief. You don't deny the pain, you don't pretend it doesn't hurt. But alongside the lament, you also give thanks. This hurts, but I'm grateful for pain management. This is scary, but I'm grateful I'm not walking through it alone. This is limiting me, but I'm grateful for what I can still do. The lesson is clear. Gratitude is not just an emotional response. It's a health practice. It heals your body, fortifies your mind, and restores your spirit. Your cheerful heart is literally medicating you every single day. 3. The ultimate gratitude. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the firstfruits of all your crops. Proverbs 3. Now, we've arrived at the most challenging, most transformative proverb of all. This one separates shallow gratitude from genuine worship. Most people think gratitude is a feeling, a warm emotion of appreciation. Some understand it's also words expressing thanks. Fewer realize it's also actions, generosity toward others. But this final proverb reveals the deepest level. Gratitude is worship demonstrated through sacrifice. Honor the Lord with your wealth. Not with your leftovers, not with what's convenient. With your wealth, your actual resources, your best, your first, with the first fruits of all your crops. In ancient Israel, the first fruits were the first portion of the harvest, the best of what you produced. Before you fed yourself, before you sold anything, before you knew if the rest of the harvest would even be successful, you gave God the first and finest. Why? Because giving God your first fruits is a declaration of trust. It says, "You are the source of all I have. I trust you enough to give you the best before I know how the rest will turn out. My security is not in my resources, but in you." This is where gratitude gets uncomfortable, because it's easy to thank God with words when it costs you nothing. It's even relatively easy to feel grateful, but honoring God with your wealth that requires faith, trust, and sacrifice. Let me be honest with you. This is the gratitude test most of us fail. We'll thank God all day long for our paychecks, but when it's time to give back to Him, suddenly we have reasons why we can't. I have bills to pay first. I need to make sure I'm secure. Maybe next month when things are better. But here's what we're really saying. God, I'm grateful for what you give me, but I don't trust you enough to give it back. Real gratitude proves itself in the offering. When you give God your first and best before you pay anything else, before you treat yourself, before you even know if you'll have enough for the month, that's when gratitude becomes worship. Let me tell you about a couple in my church, James and Lisa. They were struggling financially when they first started attending. James had irregular income. Lisa was working part-time and they were behind on bills. Everything in them said, "We can't afford to give right now." But they made a radical decision. They would honor God with their first fruits no matter what. The very first thing they did when money came in was set aside their tithe 10% for God, right off the top. At first, it terrified them. How will we make it through the month? But they did it as an act of worship, a demonstration that they trusted God more than their bank account. Here's what happened. Not that they suddenly got rich, they didn't. But they experienced something supernatural. The money they had left seemed to stretch further. Unexpected blessings showed up at just the right times. But more than that, they experienced a peace and joy they never had when they were hoarding everything for themselves. Years later, James told me, giving God our first fruits transformed our relationship with money and with Him. It moved gratitude from something we felt to something we lived. It taught us that God is not just the giver of good gifts, but the one worthy of our best offering. This is what makes this final proverb so challenging and so transformative. It redefines gratitude as an act of faith-filled worship. It's not just about acknowledging blessings, but about returning glory to the giver. And here's the beautiful promise woven throughout Scripture. When you honor God with your wealth, He takes care of you. Not necessarily making you wealthy, but ensuring you have what you need. Proverbs 3:10 continues, "Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine." It's a promise of provision for those who put God first. Your practical challenge: take the first fruit step. Before you spend anything this month, give God the first portion. It doesn't have to be 10%. If that's too big a leap, start with 5%. Start with 1%, but start with the first, not the leftovers. And as you give it, pray, "God, this is my gratitude in action. This proves I trust you more than my circumstances. Thank you for all you've given me, and I honor you with the best of it." Watch what happens not just in your finances, but in your faith. Because honoring God with your wealth transforms gratitude from a feeling into worship, from words into sacrifice, from a nice idea into a life-changing reality. This isn't just information. This is a transformation. Gratitude changes everything: how you think, how you feel, how you speak, how you give, and how you worship. So let me ask you again, if you woke up tomorrow with only what you thank God for today, what would remain? Maybe that question hits differently now. Don't let this message just entertain you. Let it change you. Choose one of these 3 proverbs and commit to living it this week. And I'd really like to hear your thoughts. Which of these 3 spoke most powerfully to you today? Drop it in the comments. Share your thoughts, your stories, your commitments. Let's build a community of grateful, transformed people. If this message blessed you, hit that like button. It helps others discover these truths. Share this video with someone who needs a perspective shift, and subscribe with notifications on, because we're going deeper in gaining wisdom together. Until next time, may you live with a thankful heart that feasts continually, speaks graciously, gives generously, and honors God completely. Thank you for being here today. Now go live it.